You are now listening to the Blind and Ginger podcast.
What's up? Welcome back to B&G
B&G, dude.
number 19.
Far out. We've been pretty consistent.
Yeah, we had the 2 weeks off in a row once.
Yeah, that was like, what, a month ago?
Yeah, it was pretty
Because it
recent.
was sick.
But I reckon we're like 19 out of 23.
I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
Didn't we have like an estimate when we would get to 20 episodes?
Yeah, we did. I think it was 20 out of 25.
We're on track for that.
We're on track, bro. We're killing it. Fuck, round of applause to us.
Thanks, audience.
Yeah, you guys are welcome.
Couldn't have done it without you guys. Even though we probably would have done it without you guys.
Yeah. Even though we're losing money every week on this thing.
Yeah, true. Yeah, losing money on the captions app.
And
And
the RSS feed thing.
yeah, and you're losing money petrol,
Yeah.
and I'm losing money on rent
Yeah.
because I have to pay to live here in the studio.
In the studio, yeah.
The famous studio
This
apartment.
is a good studio.
Actually, it is, eh? Oh, that was my speaker.
Oh, okay.
If the listeners didn't hear that sound going off.
That was crazy. Bro, tell me what you think of this. So I went to work on the other day.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, bro, I just went did like 4 hours of work, went on break, did another 4 hours, went home, I was sick.
Wow.
Yeah. No, so I went and St Kilda, we've been through this a million times, no parking in that suburb.
Yes.
I always illegally park,
Yes.
hope for the best. Right.
Yeah.
Which I get is dumb. But I think the risk is worth the reward.
Well, you've only been fined, what, like once?
Twice now.
It's probably still been worth it.
Yeah, I got fined last week. And I wasn't that mad about it because I was like, yeah, I made my bed, I'll lay in it. That's
Yeah.
fair enough. Like, I knew I was illegally parking.
Yeah.
And then I got home. My mum sees the fine, just flips out.
Why does she... Oh,
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay,
Why does she
yeah.
care? It's my money.
yeah.
Why does she care? And then she's asking me why I keep parking illegally. And I think my logic's pretty sound.
Mm-hmm.
Is that I thought I'd get away with it.
Yeah, and it's sort of like... You're looking at it from the financial standpoint as well.
Yeah, that too.
Of that it's probably cheaper in the long term to
Well,
illegally park.
It's either like $12 a day or a $90 fine every now and again.
Yeah, and also like, what is illegal parking?
Yeah, the fact that you have to pay parking is ridiculous.
Yeah, like taxpayers pay for roads.
Yeah. Pay for the roads, pay for parking, petrol.
I get if you're parking on someone's property, like, you're parking in someone's driveway,
Yeah,
if you're double parking someone.
Yeah, that's not on.
Yeah, you
But-
that's an uncourteous thing to do. But like, yeah, you can't park on the street.
Yeah, it's fucking just the street, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then, my mum was just flipping out on me like, oh, well, now I'm sure you're happy you have to pay $90. It's like, no, obviously I'm not happy. But you're not listening. I thought I'd get away with it. And she's like, oh, well, if you murder someone and you think you're getting away with it, does it make it better? I'm like, yeah, but this wasn't murder. It's vastly different
I get what
things.
she's saying.
It's vastly different things.
I do get what she's saying.
But I know it was a dumb decision. I'm not sitting here like, oh, those assholes, they got me.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, fair enough. I've been doing this for like 6 months.
Mm.
I don't know, I just thought it was weird. I thought it made sense. It makes sense in my head.
Do you think it's immoral where you're actually parking?
No.
So where are you parking?
So Fitzroy Street,
Yes.
you can go like down,
Which
in
is like
this
the main street in St Kilda, which is like a
shit.
Melbourne's like shitty
It's the black sheep.
beach district.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's a lot of backpackers and stuff like that.
yeah,
It's probably like Venice Beach.
nah.
No, like in California.
Is that scat Venice Beach as well?
Yeah, I've heard it's very scat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, true. That's for like skateboarding. Yeah, American History X.
Yeah.
I'm gonna base all my knowledge off that one scene in American History X. Yeah, in like those residential streets.
Which scene is that?
When little brother John Connor, what's his name?
His
Edward
name's
Edward Monroe.
That sounds right.
Does it? Because it was Edward Norton and Edward whatever.
Yeah.
He's like skating with like the skinheads on Santa Monica Pier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the scene I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay, right. Sorry, bro. I freaking derailed you. Thank you. Story.
It's not a good story.
Okay,
Anyway.
okay.
But yeah, it's just those residential streets.
Yeah.
So there's free 4-hour parking.
Oh, okay,
But
yeah.
it's like a 15-minute walk to my work. So I'm like, I'm not going to come here and move it.
Yes.
I'll just risk it.
Because there's no parking at your work, right?
Nah.
Yeah, true. I was thinking more about because you were telling me that last week that they were blocking off like all the roads.
Yeah.
For you getting home and stuff. Bro, I'm full leaning into this 15-minute city.
I know you are. I
Conspiracy
told
theory,
you
yeah.
need to get off the internet.
No, I think it's true. I think it's true. Don't you think they're making it harder to like have a car in the city?
To have a car in the city.
Yeah.
It's always been hard to have a car in the city.
But they're making it harder. Don't you reckon?
The road works, if I'm going to do like in their defense,
Yeah.
the purpose is to make it easier to get around. They want to
Like in the long term.
Yeah, they want to extend the tunnel and stuff like that. They've just
True.
planned it really shittily, doing everything at the same time.
Yeah.
You can't get anywhere.
Yeah, true. Or maybe they've planned it really well.
That is possible too. Here's the thing about our government.
Yeah.
Australia's government, not the
Yeah.
Secret Service. I don't think our government is organised enough to pull off a ruse of this level. You're giving them a lot of credit
Not,
by saying that they...
but it's not really them. It is actually, I believe it to be like the world government. That's what I believe it to be.
What, Doja Cat and James Charles and...
Oh, the Satanists.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what you, like Doja Cat and James Charles, that's like the culture of it.
Right, one day, I know you're an early sleeper.
Yeah.
Do Thursday at Dirty and just hang out with us till like 1
Yeah.
and just watch the people that come through Yaya's.
Yeah, they just, all of those people dressed in fishnets and stuff, you can just tell that their
Yeah,
parents...
lucky if it's a fishnet.
You can tell their parents just never paid any attention to them.
I reckon it's the opposite, bro.
You reckon?
I reckon they're just privileged kids cosplaying as like poor.
No, but a lot of privileged kids, their dad is like out working like
That's a good
80
point.
hours, and then their mum's just getting day drunk somewhere
Yeah,
off the bottomless brunches or whatever.
that's a good point.
Shopping at GQ, whatever. Like, I don't know. Wait, that's a dude store. Wherever like bougie women shop, and then they have nannies.
Yeah, that's a good point actually.
Because I remember I went to a looking back, like a very actually satanic rave, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. I didn't even get in. I was just in the line, and the line was barely moving. I was in the line for like an hour or two with my mate and a couple of chicks he knew. And yeah, everyone was just dressed goofily, and it's just like I felt. I didn't really feel bad for them at the time because I wasn't as,
Crazy.
yeah, and, yeah, I don't know. I wasn't as, what's the word? I was a bit more in my own head. Like I didn't really understand that other people could. I didn't have as much empathy.
Yeah,
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, because they all just, I don't know, you could tell they just want attention because I don't think they got it when they needed it as a kid.
right. So
That makes
you're
sense?
going down the childhood like part, like to the root of the cause.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think they're privileged just because like, here's the issues that they rally about and stuff like that is when you boil it down, like fair enough.
Like which ones?
Like trans people not getting murdered.
Is
That type of
that
stuff.
why people are going to clubs though?
No.
Is that what you're
Now I'm
talking
just talking about that demographic. of
Oh,
people.
okay. Yeah, they are passionate about that.
Yeah, but I think they're privileged because like, if you're not privileged, you're worried about like, I got to pay rent this week.
Yes.
Not that stuff. You can't really, like most people are so under the thumb that they can't really elevate to like higher thinking. That's a really douchey way of putting it. Like you can't really,
It's
you can't put energy into the big problems because you're just worried about like, I got to get my kid to school.
yeah, I would agree. agree with that. I would also say that if, like, personally, now, I think if you don't like believe in God and believe that He's gonna like take care of you, then that's also a limiter on how much you can think about other stuff. Does that make sense? Because like if you do not have like a lot of money and you're stressed and stuff, if you don't have that faith that it's all going to be all right, then you're even more like burying yourself and got even more blinders on.
But do you think it could be a negative though if you're like a believer and you're like, oh, everything is going to be all right.
Yeah.
Therefore, I'm not going to put any effort into trying to achieve anything.
That's true. That can definitely be true. I was at church yesterday and they were kind of speaking to that. Like, if you're a Christian, you should be focusing on the now, but you should also be focusing on the not yet. So you should be focusing on like what's to come, like Christian, like your eternity as well, like in heaven. And you can fall into the trap of just focusing on one or the other.
Right.
So if you just, like you just said, if you're just thinking, oh, God's going to take care of everything, that means like, I don't need to eat today. You know, like you don't need to eat every day. You could actually fast that day, but you do have to take it. You do have to bathe. You do have to, you have to work. Like that's in the Bible too. Like work's good for you. Like it's actually good for your mental health.
Despise working.
But like you'd probably know, like when you go through periods where you don't work or like you're sick for like 4 or 5 days or whatever, you kind of get depressed.
You miss the structure.
Yeah.
You need structure, maybe not work necessarily.
But like work can encompass many things, you know, like making videos or even going out doing stand-up, like just working on something.
Yeah, that's fun.
You know, but
That's fun.
It's still just some kind of work, I think, especially men. You will need work.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Why? Why don't women need work?
Well, their work is like raising a family,
Okay.
like
so you're
raising
going
kids.
to that trad view.
Oh, for sure.
Did in The Sopranos, a character dies and comes back to life?
Yeah.
And obviously they're all Italian, so they're all like Catholic.
Wait, he dies and comes back to life.
Yeah.
So I didn't even register that. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
He gets shot, goes to hospital, dies in hospital, gets resuscitated by the hospital staff.
Okay, right.
Yeah. But obviously they're all like Catholic, so they're all like shit. And he wakes up and he's just like, I went to hell, Tony. Like, I went to hell, Tony.
Yeah.
And mind you, he's just like died and come back to life. And he's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to hear that shit out of you. Just like fucking berating him. And he's just saying like,
Tony's berating the guy who just woke up.
he just woke up from death. Yeah. And then the guy who came to was like looks at like 2 of the guys like in the mafia, obviously, and he's like I saw like this guy you killed. He told me 3 a.m. Beware of 3 a.m. And they're all like, it's all bullshit. Fuck that. And then it's just like the rest of the episode is them having panic attacks every night at 3 a.m. Like, oh fuck,
Yeah, as they should. As they should.
Yeah.
Did the guy who died and came back, did he then get out of the mafia?
Well, it's to be seen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he's fucked actually because he wants to be like an actor / writer,
Right.
and he gets hooked up with Jon Favreau
Okay.
through like a mutual friend.
Yeah.
And Jon Favreau's
It's
asking
such a
him-
good show. I'm not even watching it.
It's
I'm
so
like,
good,
Wow, I'm
dude.
like, wow, this is a great show.
It's so good,
Yeah.
dude. This storyline, I'm like so keen to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Jon Favreau is like, so tell me about the stuff that happens in the mafia, so I can make the characters of this mafia I'm writing talk correctly. Like I want the dialogue to be realistic.
Okay, right.
And he just like tells him some story where he's like, if it gets repeated, I've told you the story. Like I'm dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jon Favreau just puts it in the movie. He just puts it word for word. Like the guy Chris gets a hold of the script,
Yeah.
and it's just his story for like 6 pages.
Oh, and he's like,
He's
I'm
like-
screwed.
He's like, what the fuck? Throws a hissy fit. Obviously gets kicked out. He's not friends with Jon Favreau anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm so keen to see where it goes, bro.
And there's the guy who died and came back to life.
Yeah.
If I died, saw hell for like 2-3 minutes and came back, there's no like even now no one could convince me to like not live my life for Jesus. if that happened to me, I would just be like, I don't care if you kill me. I was dead anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I saw a clip on TikTok actually about a guy who died,
Yeah.
and he was saying how like it's hard to. He's like, death was so peaceful, it's hard to kind of keep living.
What did he say he saw?
Nothing.
He said he saw nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Like a sleep.
I guess it would be like sleep. I assume it's just like before you were born.
Okay, because I've heard like.
I'm a non-believer, obviously.
Yeah. I've heard a few different. I was talking to a mate the other day, and he was saying he had a near-death experience. And he was saying he was like, I think he was in a coma or something. And when he was in this coma, he had like this vision of all these faces, like rushing by his face, and then the last face that he saw, I think he says it was his like grandfather. And his grandfather said, "Wake up, son." And he woke up from this coma.
Bro, that's crazy.
Yeah.
My nonno, when he was like 80 or 81,
Yeah.
had a heart attack or a stroke or something.
Yeah.
And he said he saw his mum go, no, it's not your time. Your time's at 84.
Whoa.
And then he obviously lived, and then he died at 85.
Wow.
It's crazy. But then, like, so that's like the thing they can't work out, scientists, is like, is that proof of an afterlife? Or what is proven is that the moments before death, your brain activity dials up to like 10,000. So they don't know if it's hallucinations due to that. There's no explanation for it. They don't know what it is.
Yeah, because it's like, it's not, it kind of goes beyond our realm. So
Yeah.
you can't really explain it with like physics or, because I remember, I think in high school when I was like 15, they were talking about like the soul and does it, you know, can we measure if it leaves your body?
Yeah. Didn't they work out it weighs like 27 grams or something?
I think that's what they said, but I remember whatever I heard, they said like, oh, they didn't measure any difference in weight when the person died. So that meant they concluded that like we don't have souls. I'm like, well, if we have souls, then they're beyond physical. They don't have weight.
Yeah.
They're beyond our realm.
I agree with you on that.
They're beyond.
It's beyond comprehension.
They don't even have time. Souls, if souls exist, which I believe they do, they don't even have time. Like, because we're just in time because we are like, we're in the flesh. You know what I mean? Like, and flesh operates in time.
And like we don't even know for sure if time is a linear thing. We as humans just experience it linearly.
Yes.
It's crazy. Dude, this shit hurts my brain when I think about it.
We can't comprehend it.
Yeah. What I'm leaning towards
Yeah.
is that, because obviously we're all made up of atoms and energy.
Mm-hmm.
When you die, those atoms and energy remain. The atoms and energy don't die. So like, are you still somewhere just floating around as like a ball of energy? Because I know heaps of people who like feel like I felt the presence of like a dead person or whatever.
Right.
Like my mum reckons she speaks to her dad all the time.
Right.
Is she insane? Maybe, or is that signs?
When you say she speaks to him, is it like a prayer thing, or is it sort of like at certain times she'll feel his presence?
That, yeah.
Okay.
It's very interesting, bro.
It is.
You know what's been fucking me up for a couple of years? I had a dream, I reckon like last year or like 2 years ago, that I was in like a bad car accident and nearly died.
Wow.
And I was freaking out. My mum was there, like super calm.
Yeah.
And I was like, I nearly died. Why aren't you worried? And she was like, no. Your time's at 25. Don't worry. So
Really?
I'm super scared of 25, dude.
Oh, wow.
I'm so scared of 25.
Wow.
But then if I make it through 25, I'm going to be like, yeah, sweet.
But
good till like
didn't
80.
your nonno, didn't his wife say he was going to die at 84 and then he made
That was his
84?
mum, but his mum was dead.
Oh.
So it was like, it could have been a spirit. My mum's alive.
Oh.
So it was just my brain.
Yeah, true. Like it's your subconscious.
Yeah. I told my dad, he interpreted it as I'm going to make it at 25.
Oh, okay.
I hope that's the correct interpretation. I hope he's right.
What's making it?
For me, it's just being financially independent and not having to have like a 9 to 5.
Yeah,
That's how I
true.
view it. Just being able to do stand up in my videos.
Yeah, I was thinking a bit more about that. Like this week, just like making money because like I don't know, like when I became Christian, I was sort of it's the first two, like it's like 2 months now. I was just like, wow, this is an amazing feeling. And I watched I think I was saying to you beforehand, Andrew Tate did an interview with Alex Jones, and they were saying, because Alex Jones he's basically predicted that the lockdowns are going to come back, or they're going to try to bring the lockdowns back in like at the back end of this year, because they've already got plans to bring mask mandates and back and stuff like that. And I'm thinking if they're going to try all that stuff, they'll probably try the vaccines again. And I really don't want to get. I got the first 2. I just don't want to get any more. And Andrew Tate was saying, he was like, in order to have real sovereignty over yourself and your own body, you need money. You need capital to basically escape the New World Order. So I'm like, well, I got to start thinking about. I should start thinking about money a bit more and like take it a bit more seriously, and also like I want to have a family and stuff like that. So, and I want to like be a proper provider and everything.
Yeah.
So,
Are you gonna do fest this year?
I don't think so, bro. Like I don't really think it will benefit me registering for the comedy festival just because like
you do a show.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I got because I basically had to chuck out a bunch of my material. Yeah. Because it just doesn't align with me anymore.
Really, you're not doing the foot fetish stuff anymore?
Who'd have thunk it? I mean, Jesus was washing people's feet and stuff like that. So maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
But
no, everyone's got their kink.
It's true, bro. It's true. No, I'll probably wait a year or so. But I don't think I need to do the festival.
Yeah, you don't. I agree. You don't. That was a fuck around.
We did it last year. Let's just talk about it, bro. Like we got
what a waste of money.
Waste of money. You have to pay registration, which is how much was it?
It's like 1K.
1K. And we did it splits. It's 500 each. That's still a lot of money, even each. So if you do by yourself, a G down the hole.
What gave me the shits was the posters.
Yeah,
making us pay for those posters and then not seeing them anywhere.
Yeah, they asked for was it the flyers? Like 500 flyers.
500 and like an A4. Oh, sorry, an A2 one.
Yeah,
and like a couple A3s, and then
we gave it to them.
Yeah, and I went to one of the stands where they're giving out the posters, and ours was just buried underneath like everyone else's.
Yeah,
it's like what the fuck was the point of that?
Yeah, no point.
Yeah, and then on top of that, we were paying venue hire.
Yes,
and yeah, that was it. I think that was all the expenses. And then we had the videographer, but that was our decision.
Yeah, and then also like advertisement through our personal social media. Yeah, but that actually helped.
Yeah.
That didn't feel like a waste of money. One of mine, I kind of accidentally let an ad run too long, but that was my fault. But yeah, I think how many people we get to the show? Like 200 over like 8 shows?
200 over 8 shows, but about that.
And like 4 of them came from through the comedy festival channels.
Yeah.
And then also, we should talk about this. We got freaking chastised through an email for being supposedly homophobic. Because we did an ad. I think it was you.
It was my story.
Yeah.
I'm like recording Hugh, and I'm like, Hugh, promote the show, and then you say a bunch of shit.
Just say a bunch of stuff about the show.
He points to the top right of the screen. He's like, click here for the ticket link, and then I put, instead of the ticket link, point here if you're gay.
Just silly.
Yeah. And
just something silly.
If you really want to break it down, not homophobic.
No.
It's not saying anything about being gay is bad. It's just like, if you're pointing here, you are gay. That's all I was saying.
Yeah. That's all I was pointing.
Yeah.
So then you got an email from the comedy festival from the comedy festival. It was like, what, 600-word email?
Oh, it was an essay, bro. It was following Teal and everything.
Yeah, like, they had a bibliography.
Yeah.
They had hyperlinks.
It was a letter from the editor.
Footnotes. It was an email, but it came with like one of those wax seals. You're like, how is this even possible?
It was like that thing from Harry Potter, the letter that fucking barks at you.
Yeah, it shot out of the freaking chimney.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, and Hugh wanted to reply saying that we were a couple.
Because we've got to say what the email said. They were saying that we were being homophobic by just even joking about that.
Yeah, it was the comedy festival does not promote homophobia, transphobia, racism.
Yeah.
Everything but misandry. And as...
Or you can... What's misandry again?
Men hating.
Man hating.
And as our good friend Adam Willis has pointed out, hating the Turks and Muslims.
Hating the Turks, Muslims, straight people.
Yeah.
That's... They crap all over straight people. And how much blasphemy goes on. Like how much religion they talk about. It's ridiculous. And I don't want to be like on my high horse because I've before I became born again, I was doing blasphemous bits. So I don't want to act like, high and mighty or whatever. But yeah, it's just like double standard.
It's because they just pick and choose who they want to make it, and then they just give that person straight, which is
it's to who looks good, because it's the government. Yeah. It's a government-run thing.
Look, it's getting into like a murky territory when you talk about that because everyone's gonna be like, yeah, I'm the best. I should be getting that, but politics.
Yeah,
because everyone thinks they're the greatest. But my point is, in 25 years that the festival's run, how many Australian comedians have made it big overseas? 2. One's terrible. Hannah Gadsby is terrible. She's not funny. She's not a comedian. You might like her thing. It's not comedy.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful speech. It's not comedy.
Yeah.
The other is Jim Jeffries, who got big in England. If you go on Netflix, he's listed under British comedy.
And he left here early.
He left here 2 years in.
Yeah.
He did a year in Sydney, a year in Perth, and then fucked off. And
then I think he was pretty successful. I don't really actually know his story that much, but he was pretty successful pretty early on, right? Or not really?
No, he got big in England.
Okay, because I know the festival didn't really treat him well.
No.
As well, which is just so silly. It's so silly. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. And then, so we got told we're on last warning and they're going to exclude us from the festival. Which...
I forgot about that part.
Which I was like, that might be great for marketing.
Yeah, that would have been.
Because then we could just turn it into some, like, the show too hot for the festival or something.
Yeah, we could have.
But this whole thing was dumb.
That's some Lewis Spears stuff.
Yeah, he's the GOAT of marketing, isn't he? Who's better at marketing than that guy?
I don't know anyone. I can't name anyone who's better than him.
We should get him on here. I reckon he'd come on.
For sure. He had jaw surgery.
Yeah,
this week. Yeah, I'm praying for him, man. I hope he's all good.
If you don't know Lewis Spears, Australian comedian, Melbourne comedian, very good guy, very funny.
He's actually big reason why I started.
Yeah,
because I was like a fan of his. I was a fan of like his, like super early because he had this page called Our Face Beef. In like, dude, it was probably like 2013 or something like that, 2012.
Yeah,
it was him and this other dude just like trolling Today Tonight and stuff.
Oh, I think I might have seen this.
Yeah,
I think I might have seen this.
Just trolling him. I can't even remember what they did. But he was doing it when he was like 18.
Yeah, he was early.
And then he like essentially, I don't know if he caused a riot. I don't know if that's it. But he like had a bunch of people at Fed Square for his birthday, and I think he got arrested.
Oh really?
Yeah, this when he's like 18. I'm like, who's this guy? It's cool. And then I sort of was like tracking him, and I was like listening to his podcast and stuff, and just listening to him talk about like doing comedy. And then I'd been in Melbourne for maybe a year or two. I actually messaged him and say how do you start doing comedy? And he said to like join the Melbourne comedy scene Facebook page and stuff like that. So he's actually like really actually helped me start. I should thank him one day because I haven't actually told him that.
Do you speak to him much?
Not really. Like we're kind of just like acquaintances or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got a lot of respect for him, man. Like for what he's done.
He's great at marketing. I reckon he's the best at marketing.
Yes. Like what he caused like international headlines with,
Yeah.
and he's been battling, I don't know the details of it, but I know he's been battling like
Sleep apnea.
yeah, like a lot of health issues. So he, has been prevented from doing what he loves and performing. And then he came out during the comedy festival.
This
and
is great.
just caused the ruckus. Because it was right at that time. This year, when the Dalai Lama was just, committing open pedophilia. So he made a bunch of jokes about it, put it on the internet, and then I remember seeing it on Instagram when it first uploaded. I was like, oh, that's some good jokes, and I saw it when it was like 30 minutes after uploading. And then I checked back like 5 days later, and it's just all these Nepalese people, like in Tibet, people just cut at him. And then they ended up protesting his show.
That was so
and he
fun.
sold way more tickets.
He sold way more tickets. He's the best at it.
Smart as.
I remember being at work when I was like 18, 19, and me and the boys just watching the video where he pretends to be a photographer in like Skid Row or New York.
What's that one? I don't think I've seen that one.
He just goes, dude, literally with like a camera shitter than this one. And just starts like just saying like, oh, I'm a big photographer from Australia. I'm from Australian Vogue or whatever.
Dude, he's one of the best trolls.
Yeah.
He's one of the best trolls.
Just taking photos of him. And then the news come, like the Los Angeles news come and interview him and do a piece on him.
Wow.
As like this photographer from Australia. And there's another one I remember where he's like quizzing people on like he's quizzing Americans on like Australian culture.
Yeah.
And he's got like a picture of like Tony Abbott. And he's like, does anyone know who this is? And they're all like, no. And he's like, this was the first ever trans swimmer to win gold at the Olympics. And guess what? Like one of the guys is like, yeah, I thought that was it. Like, and he just keeps a straight face. He's like, yes, definitely. Like,
yeah,
he's so good at it.
It did another one like that with he was just randomly. I reckon God like puts him in these positions to do this type of stuff because he was I think he was in Sydney in like Darling Harbour, and he just caught like do you know Rebel Media?
No,
they're very like right wing media group, like independent media group, like RV Yemeni. He does stuff with Rebel now.
Yeah.
But this is like 8 years ago or something. So he just like and this is when Antifa was popping off.
Right.
So Lewis like walks up to this Rebel Media journalist, and Lewis pretends to be a member of Antifa. And he was just saying all this ridiculous stuff. Like he was like parodizing like a leftist.
Oh,
It was just like super ridiculous. I can't remember what he said, but it was like just really opportunistic comedy. Which like who like does that? Like opportunistic comedy, you know what I mean? Like it's one thing to you're in a conversation, something happens, or you're on stage, something happens and you like address it. But like to be out in the public
to create it.
It's like, it's cool. It's really cool.
Have you seen there's one from like 5 or 6 years ago where he goes to an anti-vax rally?
I was thinking about that the other day, and he asked them if they're doctors.
Yeah, he's asking if they're doctors. And then he asks one lady, why aren't you getting the vaccine?
Yeah.
And he's like, and she says why, and he's like, now, is this information from like a 4-year university degree or Google? And she just walks away. He's the best.
Yeah, shout out to Lewis, man. Lewis Spears.
Big ups, Lou.
Yeah.
What else is going on, man? I'm out. I feel like I'm out of juice today. I feel like I've been shit.
I don't know. Shit, I think it's, maybe just a bit lower energy, maybe.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Fuck, I'm the worst. I'm so not funny.
Fuck. I'm trying to think what else I watched this week. Just been going to church. Just watching, I watched this, you might have seen him on TikTok. There's this mad Orthodox bishop in Western Sydney called Mario Emanuel.
I think is this the black guy?
Nah, he's Assyrian,
Okay.
so like Iraqi. But he's right up my alley because he's super wog, super loves Jesus, and super conspiracy theory. And he speaks like he's going through the book of Revelations at the moment, which is the last book in the Bible, which basically says how the world's going to end. Like it's like an apocalyptic book. So he's breaking down like the symbolism of the book of Revelations, and he's like relating it to like the UN and everything. Very interesting. He thinks that the UN is going to essentially destroy itself because it's almost like because every country in the UN is like an ally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And allies, this is my interpretation of what he's saying. And allies are like, they're not truly together. You know, like an ally is someone that
It's benefactory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's like opportunistic,
Yeah.
transactional relationship.
Yeah, it's like being nice to someone because they run a room.
Exactly. So if something changes, then it's going to collapse. And the United Nations it's basically run by the USA. It's basically run by America.
Yeah, they're the superpower.
Yeah. So when
It's got to be one of the longest empires ever now, right? Like a good 80 years.
I think so, and it's basically a continuation of the British Empire.
Mm.
Basically, like Britain kind of handed the baton after when World War II ended, because World War II ended, just completely bankrupted Britain
Yeah.
because they had to go bankrupt in order to stop Germany. And now it's sort of the legacy is now with America. And yeah, I think America's just on the downhill because like they just forgot like their Christian values really. Like they were kind of that's what they were founded on. And now they're just all these goofy internal debates, you know, when they're not focusing on what's important, really, you know.
And what's important?
You know, like they're sending billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine. It's just a proxy war. It's just a proxy war. Like they should be, and then all this Maui wildfire stuff like was just complete disaster.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
I've always wondered about this because
Yeah.
you're very into these conspiracy theories and stuff right now.
Yeah.
Let's say you're right about everything.
Yeah.
Let's say you're correct about everything. Because my dad's very like this.
Okay.
And I
Right.
always had this conversation with him.
Yeah.
What's the point of focusing on it
Yeah.
when there's really nothing you can do?
Well, I feel like there kind of is stuff that I can do now, just because I got like a bit of a platform. I can like spread the word. And then also, because the Bible says that you should basically know what Satan's plan is, so that you can strategize around it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
On the chance that all that's not real
Yeah.
and they're doing this for other reasons,
Yeah.
what's the difference?
Well, that's kind of like out of my lens of how I view the world,
Yes.
so I can't properly speak to that.
You need to be open to that possibility though, right?
Yeah, but I just think, because that's what I previously used to believe, and I just think this makes sense. Just all the stuff that I believe now, I just think it makes sense.
Yeah, well, you'd hope.
Yeah, I just think it
hope
makes
your-
sense.
You think your beliefs make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, and I just believe God's real, and it's also like, I'm not really concerned because I know God's in control. So
Right.
it's not like a paranoia thing.
Because you're spending a lot of time on it.
Yeah, but it's I don't know, it's very interesting to me. And it's also, yeah, it's just the interest.
Fair enough.
And I find it's actually helping my my comedy, like especially on stage, because I'm kind of saying interesting stuff because I'm doing all this research and stuff and finding out about stuff. Like I found out I've been doing this bit about Stephen Hawking, and I found out he was on Jeffrey Epstein's island. I've got a bit about it. I don't want to say the bit on here, but like that's just a funny bit of information just to bring up.
Did they have like wheelchair accessible caves and?
Yeah, that's the bit.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's my joke. Yeah. Yeah, it's just funny.
They installed wheelchair ramps.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny.
And also like, I think it just makes sense that what they're doing is, and the people at the top is just they just want total control because they're just not satisfied or happy with themselves. Like I was watching a clip of Yuval Noah Harari. He's like the main whipping boy for like the World Economic Forum and like the UN and stuff. He wrote *Sapiens*.
Yeah.
And actually, I read *Sapiens* like 4 or 5 years ago. Like really enjoyed it. Like I've read it. Like I think he's got 3 books now. I've read them all and like enjoyed them. Obviously got a different view now, but he was saying the other day like he's all this world control stuff that it's just out of insecurity. Like he was on this podcast with like Lex Friedman, this Yuval guy, and he was saying he's like he's basically speaking about when he's worried that someone isn't listening to him. So he wants AI so that he knows there'll be something listening to him and paying attention to him.
That's insane.
You're like, because they want to turn it into I think it's called a techocracy. And if you read his books, he talks about like, he's basically, they're like evolutionary extremists, like the people in like the World Economic Forum and stuff. Because what they basically want to have is they want to enslave all of us, and then they want to use robotics and technology and AI to become like superhuman. So like superhuman abilities and stuff like that.
Yeah, so the plot of every movie.
That's, dude, it's literally what they're trying to do, but they're just they're gonna destroy the planet in the process. It's like, is it gonna be worth it?
You know obviously not going to be worth it.
Even if you don't believe in God, like I just, it's not worth it.
Destroying the planet's not worth it.
It's not worth it, and that's really what they're doing, and you know, enslaving people and taking away people's like pleasures in life. Like they don't want people eating meat anymore. Like there's clips from people in the World Economic Forum saying that it would be like proposing the idea of somehow making people allergic to meat so that we don't consume meat. And they just say it's because eating meat's bad for the planet, but they don't really go into why that is, you know?
Yeah, well, they don't have to, because most people are just like, oh yeah, fair enough.
Exactly, like people don't really like look into it, which I feel like, yeah, I feel like Andrew Tate was saying something interesting on when he was getting interviewed by Alex Jones. He was saying like a good piece of advice is when like a bit of information comes in your head that like it's a good idea to think, where did that information come from? Like, why do I know this information, or why do I think this opinion? He was specifically saying opinions. Like if you have an opinion in your head, he says you should think, where did that opinion come from? And if you can work out where that came from, does that source where that information from, do they really care about you? You know what I mean? Like if you like think, like I've got some advice from my dad, and my dad obviously cares about me.
Yeah.
Because he's my dad, and he was like there the whole time.
But I think most people know that that's what it's like. But like I go back to what I said before, they're just like, well, I just got to get through to today. I got to get through today.
Yeah, that's true.
Kids and all that.
I've definitely got a luxury of like, I have a decent amount of free time. I don't have a ton of responsibilities. Like I don't have kids or anything. So like if I had kids, it'd be way harder to do the amount of research I'm doing. But I figure I don't at the moment. So Yeah, I just think it's good to be educated and seek out alternative sources of information, which I think that's where most people get their news from now anyway. So like, me talking like this, might sound crazy, but there was less people talking like this 20 years ago, and that would have sounded even more crazy than, a lot of people talking like I am right now. Does that make sense? Because I think there's more people are coming to this viewpoint that I've come to, that, the government really, they don't care about you. They don't.
Yeah, why would they? They got no reason to.
Exactly. They don't. It just makes sense that
No, we're just commoners. It's always been like this. We're commoners.
Yes.
Does this suck? I feel like it sucks. I feel like we haven't been funny. The pod.
It doesn't have to be funny all the time.
Yeah, but it's a comedy podcast.
It's all right.
It's listed as comedy.
It's all right, bro.
You reckon?
Yeah, we're not going to force it. It's still, as long as it's interesting. If you're watching someone bomb on stage, like do bad on stage,
that is fun. That is the most fun to watch.
and at least if it's interesting, nothing worse than a boring bomb.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Man, I haven't seen a good one in a while. Remember that Irish kid that used to do Chris Rock voice?
No.
There was an Irish guy. He used to do Chris Rock voice, and one day he was doing a bit about. He was trying to. It's like his 8th gig, and he was trying to justify Reforp.
Yeah.
He was trying to justify it, and just like dude,
Reformed. That cracked me up the other week. Cracking me up now. Reformed.
dude, it was the best. And then the MC, who's a good friend of ours, I won't name him, just got up and was like, "That guy's banned. He's banned. He's not coming back." But like, obviously he didn't mean it. It was just to save the show.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen that guy since. I just want to see a good bomb.
Oh, wow. I remember there was one guy, I don't know, back when I used to be like more mean. There's one guy on stage before me, and he just wasn't having a good set. And he was wearing this shirt, and he was really like making the buttons on the shirt like really work.
Yeah.
And I think Alessio was with me, and he's like, "Dude, you got to talk about that, bro." I was like, "Yeah, true." So I walked on the stage. I was like, "Hey guys, give it up for that dude." And I give it up for the buttons on his shirt for holding his shirt together. And then, he didn't really gig that much. Like maybe like a month or two after he kind of stopped gigging. So I don't know. I kind of felt bad, but
Probably did him a favor, bro. Probably did him a favor.
maybe, yeah. Who knows?
It's a brutal industry.
It is.
There's one guy.
It's a bad hobby to do if you're bad at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one guy. I really want to tell him that he sucks. I really want to.
Okay.
It's gonna be hard to toe the line here without revealing who it is.
All right.
You'll figure out who it is.
Do your best.
He's shit. He sucks. But he thinks he's like one of the best in the city.
Okay.
And he's always just like super cocky.
Oh, is it?
Hey, Hugh.
Yes.
Super cocky.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And
I actually saw him have a good set the other week.
no, you didn't.
Oh, I did.
And dude, one day, someone was on stage who's good, was like killing, and the room's going crazy. He just looks at me. He's like, "I'm better than this guy." I just want to be like, bro, shut up. You're not. You suck.
Yeah. I don't know, but some people are like, it's not really clicking for a while, and then it starts clicking.
Yeah, I know. I've heard that. I haven't really seen it. I haven't been around long enough to see it, but everyone has said that.
Like,
But right now he sucks.
see, a few more years, you start seeing it. Might even see it in yourself.
That was an easy one.
Yeah, I know.
That was an easy one.
Yeah.
Dude, how good was Thursday?
What was Thursday?
Dirty. That was a great show.
Oh, that was good.
That was a great show.
I did Gorilla as well the night before.
Oh, the last one.
Yeah, but for the listeners, this is like a bit of a legendary gig actually in Melbourne. It's been around for like 8 years.
Which is the shelf life of a gig is like 3 months.
Normally, yeah.
So 8 years is astounding.
Yeah, they're like friends with benefits relationships.
Yeah.
Like an 8 year one.
My friends with benefits relationships last longer than rooms.
Yeah.
A new room will come up, and you'll be like, I'll do it in like 3 weeks. I'm a bit busy, and then the room doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it just dies. Yeah. So this one Gorilla, like, I used to gig there when like 2017 and stuff. It was my first MC gig. I think I was like 7 or 8 months in, and it was my first time I actually that gig was the first time I actually won anything, like doing comedy. Like they would have like a booked bracket and then like an open mic. Yeah. And I remember maybe like the 5th or 6th time I did it, they had like an open mic competition. It was maybe like 6 or 7 or 8 acts. And I won it, and I got like a beer at the end. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's good.
I was like, this is cool.
That would feel good.
Yeah, it was like a cool feeling. Yeah, and then I had my first MC gig there, and classic Flemmo was there.
Oh my
I'm at
god.
Flemmo.
Oh my god. What a
And
man.
this guy's a complete legend. And he closed the show, and he pulled out he pulled out his member,
Yep.
and he put a. Have I told you this?
No. But
And
it sounds like him.
Yeah, and he put a like a plastic like drink bottle on the table, and he said he was playing cock cricket.
Considering who his family is.
His brothers used to bowl for Australia in cricket.
Used to bowl for an Australian. He's an Australian legend.
Yeah, he is.
He's an
Yeah, he is.
Australian legend.
Anyways,
For just any cricket fans listening to this, just as a little clue, Corridor of Carnage. There you go. They'll figure that out.
There you go. Anyways, he hit the drink bottle really far across the room with his loins, bro. It was like impressive.
He's packing, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, the people that always just slip it out are always packing.
They
know what they've
no one's
got.
whipping out a micro.
At school, there used to be a guy.
Yeah.
Dude, he had like 7 inches soft.
Far out.
Apparently, they measured it one day. It was like 11.5 inches. And bro, he would just whip it out on the bus and just like smack people's heads.
Like whack-a-mole.
Yeah. I was always so wary I wasn't sitting in front of him. I was like, I'm not getting a dick to the head today.
Especially like at the back part.
Yeah, bro,
seats where it starts going over the back wheels.
Yeah.
And it's a bit more ramped.
That's exactly how it was, bro. I wonder what that guy's doing these days. You ever think about these people? Like, wonder what they're doing now.
Yeah, you do, eh? Like, did he use that talent?
Yeah, he has to be doing porn or OnlyFans or something now.
So, what do you do if you got like a big member and you don't do that?
I think you just do that because you got to show it off any way you can. So you just whip it out.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, because it's not like.
Dude, I love, and this is a bit I'm doing, so I'm not going to step on my bit, but I love just like checking up on people from high school and seeing they didn't achieve anything. It's the best.
On Facebook.
Yeah. Or like LinkedIn. What do
Do
you
you actually have LinkedIn?
Yeah.
I don't have it.
What are you doing now? Doesn't even have a LinkedIn. You're not doing shit. Lol.
Far out. I feel bad now.
Get a
Like,
grip.
should I have a LinkedIn?
Well, because I'm in the corporate world. That's why I've got it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm in hospo.
Yeah.
Which is like, yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Hang
use.
loose,
I
fella.
don't use it. Like I'm not going on there like.
You look at-
Congratulations on the new job, Margaret. Like, I'm not
I've
doing
heard,
that.
I remember Gary V was saying it's actually alright for content, right?
Yeah, Jack Martin got big on there.
Who's that?
He's a TikToker from America. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
Guy's hilarious, and he ended up getting like, I met him once. He's the lead in La Brea. It's like a Netflix series.
Okay.
He got big on TikTok and then got like acting work. I think he was doing acting before
Okay.
TikTok, but
Just fed off each other.
he just I think he had like a proper LinkedIn, and then he just got big on TikTok and tanked his LinkedIn by like just trolling people on there. Just like applying for jobs or like shit like that. It's just insane.
That's funny.
It's so funny. Yeah, I met him. He was a good guy.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
That's good, man.
I still feel like this sucks. I can't get out of my head about it.
What were we just talking about before?
The guy with the big dick. The python.
Yeah. Did you apparently penis size people's penises are getting smaller
Yeah?
because of all the micro plastics and toxins and stuff.
Not this guy. We joke.
Compared to 1945.
Yeah?
Yeah, the number's going down. Our great grandfathers had, on average, had bigger dicks.
Man, did you ever catch your grandfather's schlong? Catch a peep?
Nah, I felt it on the Richter scale though.
Dude, do you remember like sharing with your dad as a kid and being like,
No, I remember what's it called? What's it called when you both piss in the toilet at the same time?
oh, crossing swords?
Yeah, yeah, cross swords with him. Yeah, sword fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that. But I don't really remember like taking into account like the size or anything.
I don't remember what it looks like. I remember thinking like massive.
It's probably like you're at the height as well.
Yeah, you're eye level with it.
Yeah. Well,
Man. I remember taking a shower by myself for the first time, bragging about it at school. Fuck, what a day.
did you run the shower yourself?
Nah, mum turned it on.
Yeah. That was like, that actually, I don't know about you, but that took me that was a big period of time for me.
Really?
Between getting mum to run between having a shower and obviously mum or dad starting it, and then me doing the dial myself. That was like I feel like it was like 18 months.
Yeah, I remember they weaned me onto it by turning it off. They let me turn it off myself.
Yeah.
And I got taught turn the hot one off first. I
Yeah.
was like, but then it's gonna be cold. And my dad's such a matter of fact guy.
Yeah.
Like I could fuck up my entire life. He'd be like, you won't do that again. Like, he's like, it's better than it being hot.
Yeah, true.
And he was right.
True, that's very true.
Yeah, he was right.
I remember I got out of the shower one time, and just speaking of that, and I was like, you wrap yourself in the towel.
Yeah.
And I just came out in the living room and was just like watching TV. And I was like complaining that I was cold. And my dad was like, well, go put some clothes on. I was just like, yeah, I should just put some clothes on. What am I doing?
Dude, there must be so many moments like that as a parent where you're like, fuck,
Oh.
is my kid like...
Thousands.
Stupid.
There's got to be thousands
Yeah.
upon thousands of them.
Dude, I have a core memory of... I was like 7. So I think this must have been around the time I was starting to shower fully by myself.
Right.
Like without any interference. And my mum came into the bathroom to, I don't know what, like straighten her hair or some shit.
Yeah.
I was like, get out. Like, you're going to see my doodle. And she's like, I used to change your nappies. It's fine.
Yeah, like not even that long ago.
Yeah, like 4 years ago. Like
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I went, well, you haven't seen my 7-year-old doodle. And she started, howling,
Yeah.
laughing. And like,
And you thought you sounded like Bruce
Yeah,
Bruce
yeah.
Wayne or something. You know what I mean?
I was Batman, bro.
Yeah. You
And
I
like,
was born in the dark.
yeah. And like ran out of the room to tell my dad what. And she's obviously telling it from like, this is a hilarious thing my 7-year-old just said.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like she's stepping on my entire livelihood.
Completely humiliating.
Yeah.
Have you no respect?
Yeah. And I think I pulled the I'm going to run away. Like,
That's a classic.
oh, just pack your favorite toy. And
Bro, I remember one time I full thought my brother was actually going to run away.
yeah.
I full thought he was. He, you know, like the Charlie Brown cartoon and stuff where the hobos get like the stick with like, they tie up the thing. They tie up the, put stuff in a hanky, then tie it to the stick.
Yeah.
My brother I swear to God, he did that one time. He got like I can't remember why he did it, but he got like a muesli bar.
Yep.
And put it in like a tea towel, and then maybe like an apple or something, and then he full left for like 20 minutes. And we had like a nature reserve behind my house, so you just walk up that, you're like, far out, he's gone.
Yeah. But dude,
It's like Into the Wild.
how old was he? Into a great movie.
Oh, probably 8 or 9 or something like that.
That 20-minute
like
walk
school
as
holidays.
an 8-year-old
Yeah.
would have been like,
Woo!
yeah.
Do.
Once I pulled the I'm gonna run,
like Ice Age.
yeah. Once I pulled the I'm gonna run away, my dad was like, "All right, see ya," and I was like,
See how far you get.
Well, I don't want to now. That was always funny, dude. I remember even parents still do it now. Like when I was working at the supermarket, they're doing it. Like the kid would be like, I don't want to leave, and they're like, all right, see ya. Right, as soon as the parent
it
gets,
lasts like 3 seconds.
as soon as they get like over 10 meters away, the kid sprints to their parent, bro.
Yeah.
Sprints to the parent. So funny. It worked on me all the time. But also, my mum would just put the fear of God into us.
Yeah.
Like, you know, most parents are like, now make sure you stay close to mummy, and like don't really give a reason why.
Mhm.
My mum was just like, if you walk away, a man will take you, and you'll never see me again.
Wow.
Yeah, she's just scare tactics all the time.
I guess it worked, eh?
It worked.
Wow.
And I remember like when I was like, my sister was like 12. She would go to like, we've been in a clothing store. She'd go to like What's New across the way, which is obviously nothing. But I was like 7. I was like, she's gonna get taken. She's definitely getting taken. I'm like, Mum, why are you letting her go? Yeah, it's funny. My mum was always like that.
Yeah, right.
Whenever I was acting up in the shops, she just dig her nails into my forearm. And apparently it worked on my sister, but she'd do it to me, and I'd be like, why are you scratching me? Like loud as.
Yeah.
She'd be like, I'm not scratching you.
Just hitting her with a Wolverine claws.
Yeah, bro. She's got some crazy parenting techniques.
Yeah, I've never heard of telling your kids they're gonna get kidnapped.
Yeah. Once I wanted to touch the iron, and she was like, yeah, go for it. I touched it, bro. It wasn't fun. It wasn't a good time. It was a horrible 8 seconds.
I remember one time I was gonna get toast out of the toaster with a knife, metal knife. I full went to do it, and I never seen my mum like sprinted across the living room into the kitchen. I never seen her run so fast. And I was old enough where I should have known that.
I did this at 23.
No way.
Yeah. Or maybe it was 22. I had, you know that super flu that went around just after COVID?
Yes.
I had that. Most sick I've ever been in my life. I wasn't
Yeah.
thinking straight. Toast got caught in the toaster. I was like, obviously I just put a fork in, stab the toast, and get it out. I remember my dad backhanding the fork out of my hand. And then I had the realization, like, fuck, I'm a grown man. And,
Yeah.
like, that would have been such an embarrassing way to die.
Do you get electrocuted like that, or does it just blow up?
I think you get electrocuted, which can kill you.
Wow.
With enough watts.
Yeah, like a fork in a power socket can kill you, right?
Yeah. Because that's direct from the wall, bro.
Isn't that crazy? Like, that's such an easy way to die.
There's so many easy ways to die. Most ways to die are easy.
Do people kill themselves like that? Like fork in the...
No, I think people like the old noose around the neck.
Yeah, I guess it's a bit more performative.
That must be... Oh, this is a dark thought.
Yeah.
But I always think about it like putting the noose on, jumping, then going, oh, fuck. Oh, no, I fucked up.
Yeah, because it's a long time to be...
It's got to be... And because your fight or flight kicks in,
Yeah.
you start going in slow motion.
Yeah,
So
right.
It just must feel like an eternity. It must be horrible. That was a dark thought. I'm sorry I brought that up.
No, that's all right. I've heard that with people who jump off buildings as well.
Yeah, I've heard like people that jump off the Golden Gate Bridge all regretted it instantly.
Yeah. Because you're just like, what am I doing?
Yeah. It's not that bad. I'll find another girl.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing's ever that bad.
One of my
What are you gonna
TikToks will blow up.
do? My engagement's down.
No, we were right to buy these microphones. The commenters are wrong. The alien bit was funny.
Bro, but if one of us did, like, end it all, like, the pod would blow up.
Oh, bro. Bro, it would.
This would be like, what's it called? XXS
Tentacion.
His interview on No Jumper, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I heard today? You know Little Uzi Vert?
Little
Uzi Vert.
Little Uzi Vert.
You know Little Uzi Vert? If you actually say his name, it actually sounds like Lucifer. Little Lucifer.
Don't
Little
even
Lucifer.
Dude, if I died,
Don't you reckon?
if I died, how long would you try and keep the pod going for?
It'd be a solo pod.
Would you just be like, let's say the pod's big
Yes.
and it's making like 10K a month.
Okay, right.
We're splitting that 10K, obviously.
Yeah.
Like probably 80-20 my way, right?
So that's weird that you would say that yours is the 20, like the secondary. That's weird.
So
But okay, yeah. I respect that.
We're splitting it like 95-5. Right? And you're like, and I died, and you're like, it's 10K a month. Guys, Anthony would want me to keep the pod going. Would you do that? Would you pull that?
If that's what the audience wanted. Who am I to deny the audience?
It's funny. Anthony told me the day he died, keep the pod going.
Like you fool.
Didn't he die in a shooting? We spoke as the bullets were flying.
Didn't he die on the pod? Like we heard his last words. Do you know it was just speaking of like people dying and other people continuing to make money off him. You know Joe Statics, the bodybuilder?
No. Is he the one that's dead you bring up a bit?
Yeah, he passed away like earlier this year.
Yeah.
Is it pretty very sad, man. He was only like 30. And he did like promo for Young LA, like the clothing brand.
Yeah.
This guy's got like one of the most insane physiques ever. Like he just got far out. Anyways, when he died, they Young LA put out like all the photos of him and stuff and said, yeah, we're still gonna sell merch in his name, and if you use his code, all the proceeds from the code will go to his family. And I was like, it better.
Yeah.
Like, where else are you gonna friggin'? You gonna keep it?
There's no way to like check.
There's no way to check. And also, if you want to do something good, say all the money is gonna go to his family.
Yeah.
They're just the promo code.
Just watching the sales, like, yes, they forgot the code. Yes.
They're basically just like using him as promo. They're just re-uploading his promo.
That's all it is, dude. Have you seen the show Dave?
No, I haven't.
It's a Lil Dicky's TV show.
Yeah.
It's actually quite good.
Isn't he? Theo Von was kind of claiming that he was getting bits stolen.
The evidence is there.
It's there?
The evidence is there.
Yeah,
Yes.
I just automatically believe Theo Von because I know he's a
He's
sincere guy.
but then the discussion comes to, was it Lil Dicky or was someone in the writer's room?
Yeah, that was like the defense for Amy Schumer when her show was getting. But then you go, and then half of her stand-up show is stolen bits. You go, this woman's a thief.
Yeah, well, she stole the Patrice O'Neill bit, word for word, and then she said, I was never that close with Patrice, I didn't watch him much. You were on Black Phillip.
On his show.
You were on his show.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, Lil Dicky has a plot line where these guys like rob him of a chain. He's mining like Young Thug's chain and it gets stolen.
Okay.
And he finds people that steal it and they're like, we'll give it back if you do a verse on our song. Does the verse, whatever, storyline's over. Like 3 episodes later, he accidentally fakes his own death.
Little Dicky does.
Yeah. Like
Right.
his tour bus blows up.
Right.
They're not in it and they kind of like fuck off and they're in the middle of the country. Then someone finds the blown up RV and like tweet that he's dead.
Wow.
And then they kind of, mind you, Santino plays his manager. Santino's a great actor.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And so he starts trending because he's dead. And they're like, wait, let's just like let this ride for a bit because the following's going up.
Yeah.
And then obviously like the world thinks you're dead. All you're going to do is obsess on your phone thinking that everyone's reacting.
Yeah, true.
And those guys that he recorded the song for that stole Young Thug's chain,
Yeah.
put the song out.
Right.
And like this was Lil Dicky's last verse, like rest in peace, Lil Dicky. When they stole the verse,
Yeah.
they forced him to do it pretty much at gunpoint.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, they got the verse out. Good for them. Good for them. And then he hallucinates Anne Frank.
He hallucinates.
Anne Frank.
Like seeing her.
Yeah. And
Okay.
dude, it's a great bit. I don't know how it wasn't done before. Or maybe it was.
Yeah.
It's just like her finding out that the entire world read her diary.
Oh, true.
She's like, my dad published my fucking diary and cracks the shit. And he's like, no, you come across very well. And she's like seething, like breaking shit. And then I DM'd the actress because she posted on her story like her in the chair that says Anne Frank on it, like in the Anne Frank makeup.
Wow.
I was like, this is hilarious. I just posted that photo on my story.
Yeah.
And she liked it. So I messaged her. I was like, oh, you were great in that episode. And she was like, oh, thank you.
Nice, bro.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah,
That's cool as.
it was sick.
Did I tell you, because I had a couple videos go like pretty good this week.
Yeah, you killed it this week.
Thanks, bro. The head pastor from my church followed me on Instagram.
Oh,
for my
really?
videos. I was going through like my verified follows and activity and stuff like that. I was like, oh, wow,
Can you
that's
check
cool.
verified followers?
Yeah, it's like in a filter in your notifications.
Oh, I had to check that.
Yeah, and then I spoke at church about it and stuff. I was like, yeah, I only became Christian like 2 months ago, so don't scroll down too far.
No, he would have thought that was fun.
So, yeah, no, he was he's a cool guy, man. He's maybe like late 30s or something.
Oh, he's pretty young.
It's like, yeah, it's kind of Hillsongy type of vibes, like the church, like that's the type of music and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
it's this is funny.
that is fun. Have you seen Pete Holmes' series Crashing?
No, I've heard about it. Bill Burr was on it, right?
Yeah, Bill Burr's on it, but you'll like it because it's kind of about him trying to navigate comedy as a Christian.
Is he Christian?
Catholic.
Oh, okay. It's a bit different. It's a bit different.
Same shit, different.
It can. I mean, yeah, a lot of Catholics are more Catholic than they are Christian.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which shouldn't really be the case. Shouldn't really be. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't want to lecture people, but it's still difficult. Just trying to uphold to a moral
In comedy, dude.
standard. Yeah, it's
In
difficult.
comedy?
Yeah, it's difficult.
Everything you people everything you people don't like.
That does offend me because I'm not Jewish.
Everything Christians and Catholics don't like is what the comedy scene is.
Pretty much. It's not that we don't like it. It's just that
It's not part of your lifestyle.
no, and I don't know. Like when I see people like doing stuff that's contradictory to like the Christian lifestyle, like I don't. It's not like offensive. I just like feel bad for them,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, it's been just been in it for like 2 months. Yeah, it's been interesting to navigate. But yeah, it's also like you should always come back to that. Try to be humble and know that you're not. I'm nowhere near perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hugh's opening line, Hugh's opener on stage was, "So I'm a bit of a sick cunt for like a year."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, the best was whenever you'd follow someone good looking.
Oh, I'm
Like-
still going to use that line. I'm still thinking about that line.
How lucky are you guys? 2 GQ models in a row.
That's still a good line, bro.
It's
I gotta bring that one back
funny.
if the opportunity
think-
presents itself.
Dude, you have this thing. I don't know how you do it. If I did that, I'd come across like an arrogant asshole.
Yeah.
But you do it and it works. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I'm just I don't know.
If anyone else did it,
Well, you can do like you can do like dark stuff and get away with it.
yeah, I don't know how. It's weird.
It's not. I don't even think sometimes it's not even worth analyzing like why you can like certain gifts and stuff that you have.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting to analyze, but sometimes it can just be futile. Like you're better off just enjoying the gift that you got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was thinking about that though. Like, I did a pretty dark joke on Thursday.
Yeah, you did. Your set was quite dark.
My entire set was dark.
Yeah.
And, like, I got away with it the whole time. And they were laughing, and they were,
Yeah.
like, the opposite of my demographic.
Yeah.
It was very weird. I don't know, like... Because people... For the listeners who aren't, in the biz...
Few unfunny people. Unfunny.
Because people always talk about there's rules to being able to do dark stuff. Like, win them first. Do this, do that.
Yeah.
But I've always just done dark stuff.
Yeah, I don't really subscribe to that stuff. I remember when
Even, sorry to cut you off, even with what
Yeah.
you do with the 2 GQ miles in a row,
yeah.
that breaks every rule everyone says about an opener.
Yeah.
It breaks every rule.
Well, like who's giving the rules out?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just other comics and like you shouldn't. Like, who are you to tell me how I'm funny?
Yeah, well, I think you said
You know
this
what I
to me actually. Like when people are giving you advice, they're just telling you, "Here's what I did."
And they're also like, if you're asking how, if you give someone a premise, they're just telling you how they would do the joke.
Yeah,
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you always gotta. That's true with everything. Like everyone's always, any person you talk to, just in general in life, has an agenda. So you have to like filter out their agenda, like, because even if you tell me a premise, and I tell you, oh, like where you should take the joke, my agenda is that I want to see my idea fulfilled through you.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's the same thing,
Well, that happens. I've got people have given me premises
right?
as like, I can't do this, but I know you'll be able to do something with it.
Right.
That's happened a bit.
Okay. Well, that's pretty like selfless.
Yeah. Well, we do that with videos, even you and I.
Yeah, we
We're like,
definitely do.
you should do this because it's like, I'll think of a video that's your format. I'm like, I'll just give it to you.
Yes. Yeah, it's good. Or even like, helping each other. Like, say you got 3 or 4 ideas in a video, coming up with that last one
Yeah.
that you just need like a bit of input in.
That's a
Sometimes
big
really
one.
helps.
That's
yeah,
a big one. But I know you just said it wasn't worth analyzing. I think it is though, because
it probably is.
does have to be an explanation.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like Alessio, why can he get away with? Like how can he get away with not talking for 2 minutes and you're laughing the whole time?
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, most like uniquely funny stuff about people is like, stuff that you wouldn't say is like good for a comic to do. Like even like a lot of my bits now, I've tried to incorporate like more silence in between, or just after my punchlines and stuff, and just tried to like milk the punchlines with like body language or like facial expressions,
Yeah.
which I'm really enjoying actually, because it kind of feels like me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool, man. Comedy's I just love it.
It is the best.
It's just awesome.
It is the best.
It's just such a rush. Like it's just, you're making people laugh. Like you're spreading joy.
There's no high as good as like a good set.
Yeah, it's just,
There isn't
it's awesome. It's really, it's a clean high.
Yeah.
It's clean.
And there's no calm down.
Not really. No, there
It
isn't.
just lasts until the next bomb.
Yeah. And even then, like, I remember I had like a really good week at gigs this last week gone by. And on Friday, did a gig. It was like a 5 or 6 minute set. First 3 minutes, I was just like, boom, plugged in, straight, keep the momentum going. And then just, I was doing really good. And then just completely randomly, just lost all my mojo.
Yeah.
Just completely lost my mojo. And it was just like, I felt like I was looking at me. Like, I felt like I was one of the audience members looking at me like, what the hell's going on?
Do you know what I think that is? Because I had this, because I used to be like, I've always been bad at sport.
Yeah.
And I still do it now. If I'm playing sport and I'm doing something sick,
Yeah.
halfway through I go, fuck, this is pretty sick.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I become conscious of it, it's done. It's over.
Yeah.
So if you're in the zone on stage and you're like, fuck, I'm in the zone right now.
Yeah.
If you overthink that, then you're out of it.
Yeah, I was definitely doing that a little bit.
But I've had that, like the seeing myself in third person on stage thing.
I don't know if I was doing that. I just feel like I could feel like the lack of mojo that I was putting out. I could you could feel and see it on people's faces.
Yeah.
Especially when you go from, I came out like I was doing real good, like from the bat, and then just like randomly it just switched off.
It happens, bro.
It does, but yeah, that doesn't really like phase me as much anymore. Because now I know that it happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Now, I've hit a point where like, if I'm bombing, 95% of the time I know exactly why.
yeah,
So it's
that's
like,
good.
it's like, oh, I know what this is. Whatever.
Yeah.
And if I'm doing well, I know I'm doing well. Because when you start, you kind of don't know.
No,
You don't even know why you're funny. You don't know why a joke's funny.
it's like flying a kite and you don't know that kites like need wind.
Yeah. I remember when I was pretty new, Alessio was like explaining to me why one of my jokes was funny.
Yeah.
And it really hit me like, oh, I have no idea what I'm
You
doing.
got no
I have
clue.
No fucking idea.
Yeah, it's like beginner's luck,
Yeah, I guess.
if that's the thing.
Yeah, I think we've been going for a while.
Yeah, do you want to wrap it up, bro? Hour 20.
Yeah, bro. We'll wrap it up.
All right, thanks, guys, for watching episode 1919 of the BNG Blind and Ginger Pod. Tune in next week for number 20.